being able to talk about your work is a perk. Or seen from the other side, being disallowed to talk about your work is a downside worth considering. One of the things I figured out from many, many years, 14 or 15 game developers conferences that I've attended, is that indie game developers can and will and love to tell you all about what they're in the middle of. What they're working on, what they've changed their mind around, why they're doing what they're doing. People who are at bigger companies are far more tight-lipped. And it's not because they're rude, it's not because they're mean, it's not because they are inherently secretive, it's because they are required to not really talk about what they're doing. Maybe some years after the fact, some people will say a little bit, especially if they think they can generalize it enough to sound like, well, this could have been inspired by any number of different projects or former employers. But while someone's at a company, on a specific game, they often feel like they need HR's permission to even have a conversation about it. Sometimes they really do. And there's a variety of reasons for this. It's usually not because the company is trying to hide its brilliant secrets. Occasionally, it's part of a marketing plan to make sure they're surprising people. But as much as anything else, it's often a matter of trying to hide their own incompetence, or process failings, or chances that they're taking internally that they haven't quite nailed yet. They don't want to promise yet because they don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. That's understandable. But the real impact that this has on the people involved in the process is that when they come home and they love to tell their friends and their family or other people in their network the things that they're proud of doing and being a part of, they either feel like they can't or they know that they're doing something wrong that could get them in trouble if they do. And this is a perk of working on your own projects, working on your own company, having the freedom and flexibility to be able to do that without being in the constant crosshairs. This is, of course, something not entirely unique to game developers. That's just where I experience it in my life. But just as much, it's part of the obligation of medical professionals, legal professionals, therapists, probably clergy. I don't know the details. But in many situations, there are professionals who part of the work that they have accepted, part of the job, part of what they're compensated for, is the responsibility to not share what they know, to not share what they did that day, to not talk with others about what's going on for them. And it takes a little toll on us. Sometimes, again, depending on the objective of the work, I'm not saying you shouldn't pursue those lines of work any more than you shouldn't work at a large company. All I'm saying is that it's a factor to consider in sizing up whether or not an opportunity is a fit for a lifestyle you're going to feel good in. It's actually been a surprise to me how many people I've known over the years who, when they finally met their goal of they had some sort of dream job they wanted, of working at a big company, you name it, one they've heard of, one you've heard of, one they grew up playing the games by, discovered that then they basically fell off the earth in terms of no longer really getting to talk about the thing that they love to do, the thing that led them to that role in the first place. That when they meet up with their friends, they've got to remain secretive. It adds to the cliquishness of coworkers in their after hours hanging out basically only with other coworkers from the same studio, because there they at least feel like they can a little bit refer to what's been going on in their lives in a way that otherwise, again, they either know they shouldn't, or it could get them in trouble, or they won't. So there's no right answer to this. It's just a matter of sizing up for yourself. How much do you like being able to talk about what you do? I love it. I think it's really important. I really, really enjoy being able to share the middle of the project I'm on. It's part of what we do in Game Keto Club every single week. All of our projects, all of our contributors, all of our people share what we've been up to mid-process. And that helps us feel some camaraderie. That helps us keep on track. Helps us keep our purpose, in part, serving our teammates well and being proud of the contributions that we've made. But that in many different environments, that's not a freedom that we have to share with our friends, our family, or people who are on other projects and teams. In the long run, not only does it take a little bit of a toll on us, not being able to talk about the thing that our mind is committed to, but it also can decrease our learning. It can decrease our opportunities to talk through something with someone else who might know better, to cross-pollinate ideas with somebody else who's had similar but different experiences. So it's a consideration that often isn't talked about on the job, often isn't talked about when choosing a career path, but I think is absolutely worth weighing in terms of figuring out what you want.